Before I started attending the spiritual cleansing sessions, my life was upside down. I had depression for 7 years, where I felt like there was a dark cloud following me everywhere, no matter where I was. If it was a lovely, sunny, tropical place, I was still feeling miserable inside. I also had a severe phobia of death. Anytime I would think about dying or the future, that would bring on these horrible panic attacks that I can only describe as being absolutely terrified. It was, the worst experiences that I've ever had, and these panic attacks were quite frequent. I also had OCD symptoms where I would be outside in the street just walking along, and then I'd get this really horrible feeling that something really bad would happen to me or my family members if I didn't do certain things. So for example, these thoughts would tell me, if you don't go and pick up that piece of rubbish in the road right now, something's going to happen to you or a family member. And I would literally go and listen to those thoughts and go and pick up this other people's rubbish and put it in the bin, and this was just a cycle. So everything felt negative. I felt like there was a negative presence around me all the time. I couldn't be happy. It affected my relationships because I was so depressed. I had a boyfriend at the time, and it caused major problems because I felt a little bit happier when I was with him. It's like I clung on to him when I got really obsessive. So obviously I was very suffocating, so that led to major arguments, and I became quite violent towards him. I would hit him, swear at him, treat him really badly, even though he was such a lovely person. He still is, because I married him today. And I just felt really bad about myself. It's like I couldn't control what I was doing. My behavior was unforgivable, and I felt not only did I have all those other things to deal with, I also felt very, very guilty as well, like such a bad person. I tried different things to get help. My first port of call was the doctor, because when I started having depression and panic attacks, I was just 16 years old. But I was too young at the time to be given antidepressants, so I was referred for counselling. I did that for about a year, but that didn't really help me. I needed more than just talking. I needed a solution. I even asked the counsellor, what do I do to solve this? And he said, I'm just here for you to talk. And that wasn't enough for me. And I tried other things, such as, the candles and some spiritist places and, the stones and anything that I could think of to get help, I tried, and nothing worked. And one day I had the worst panic attack of my life. I was still shaking the whole day, and I came across the meeting of the spiritual cleansing therapy, and I walked in, and I can honestly say I felt a difference immediately. It was like I felt at home. There was peace. I knew something good was there. And I received the cleansing prayers and some really great advice, and from the very first night I was able to sleep really well. That was the first time in years, and from that very day I never had another panic attack again in my whole life. So that was obviously a big sign for me. So I kept attending the therapy sessions, and then I noticed that every time I went, it's like the depression that I had, that heaviness, that negative feeling that I had all around me all the time, it started to lift bit by bit, until one day I realized that I wasn't depressed at all anymore. I started to feel happy, I had peace. And this obviously also had an effect on my relationship with my boyfriend, because I didn't have those angry episodes anymore, those outbursts that I used to have. So obviously we started to get along better. Today we're happily married. Our relationship has completely transformed, and I'm a completely different person. I have peace inside. I'm happy. I'm not depressed anymore. The OCD symptoms went away as well. The negative thoughts went. So I feel like I'm a completely different person, and that is thanks to the spiritual cleansing sessions. And there has been a complete turnaround, because before I was extremely shy, very insecure, very unconfident about myself. I didn't feel like I could ever achieve anything because of so many issues that I was going through. But because I got help with all of that, now I'm able to stand in front of people and talk. I do a TV show dedicated to mental health topics. So that's the huge turnaround that can happen when someone attends these sessions, and I recommend it to everyone.